I'm now being joined on the news at 10 by the General Manager, Corporate Communications of FAAN, Mr. Yakubu Datti. So welcome to the news at 10, Mr. Datti.
Thank you very much.
Now let's begin by asking you about the incident involving the Saudi Arabia airline that veered off last night. What exactly happened?
Well, like it was mentioned in the news, the flight, Boeing 747 cargo airline, landed safely on the tarmac, but while it was taxiing off, it eventually veered off. And it took we immediately reactivated our emergency response alarm system, and all the necessary emergency agencies that were on ground came up and ensured that there was no loss of life, and rescued also the aircraft. And that in itself is a proof that so much has been put into the sector, because in aviation, most of what you look at is the issue and the time of rescue operations. That itself indicates the level of growth of an aviation industry.
But why did it take so long to get it off the runway?
Well, to start with, to say that people were delayed for about 17 hours, I think is a little bit exaggerated. Immediately this incident happened, that was about 12 minutes after 10 in the night. We were quickly mobilized to the airport under the supervision of the Honorable Minister, Princess Stella Odua. The Accident Investigation Bureau was there, the Captain Akikotu of the NCA was there, Mr. George Resi of FAAN. Were all there on ground until 3 a.m. And as I speak with you, they even supervise the takeoff of Lufthansa and Air France at about 12 midnight or thereabout. So there were flights that were taken off, and eventually in the morning, the fact remains that we take the issue of safety as very important and paramount. Flights were allowed to depart, but we didn't want to take any chances with flights coming in. And for that, I believe Nigerians should today be celebrating the decision that has been taken to do that, because no human life can be equated with issues of
so many people were stranded at the airport. So many people today couldn't travel up until in the afternoon.
Yeah, well, if you look at the effort that has been put to ensure that not one life was lost, you will not understand that you cannot equate the benefits of that wise decision, which is hinged on the issue of safety. And like we have always emphasized in the aviation master plan, aviation is about safety, safety, safety. And that is why it becomes the guiding principle of whatever decision that has to be taken. You think of the safety of lives and property. And I think we have achieved that.
Back to the issue of getting the aircraft off the runway. We heard that the agencies involved do not have enough equipment. We're hearing that the agencies had to go to get equipment from Julius Berger to be able to get the aircraft off the runway. Is that true?
Well, when people talk about equipment, these are legacy problems that we inherited 2 years ago before the transformation in the sector. I'm sure that we'll have been talking about a different story if this had happened. You can imagine when it happened at that time, there was immediate response by the fire service, by the Accident Investigation and Prevention Bureau, and other agencies that were there on site. Now, if they didn't have equipment, we probably would have been talking about the aircraft would have been in flames, and the survivors would have been a different story. So I think that most times we should appreciate efforts that are being done, and internationally that is being appreciated. In fact, Nigeria is being applauded, and that gave rise to the reason why for the first time we have a Nigerian, Dr. Aliyu, who has been elected as the president of ICAO, and tomorrow the president of Nigeria is going to honor him in a banquet, and that itself is an indication that the intervention in aviation is yielding not only results but are receiving global acclamation.
Whether the plane was a cargo plane, what investigations have shown that the plane was carrying some arms and military hardware. Is that true?
Oh, I'm just hearing that from you, Linda. Our emphasis is that to ensure that we move the plane out of the runway to create, to look at the issue of safety. The issue of what is inside the airplane, I think there are relevant agencies that will be handling that. And I'm happy with what has been demonstrated by the Accident Investigation Bureau following the infiltrated air crash where they brought out a report within 1 week. I believe that Nigerians should show a little patience to allow the AIB to come out with their preliminary report.
But is there any plan for investigation as to know what the content of the plane was or is?
That is why the AIB took charge of the accident incident immediately happened yesterday. And like I said, we needed to look at what are our priorities immediately happened. First is to secure the airport. Secondly is to ensure that there is safety of life and property. And thirdly is to ensure that we move the aircraft out to enable flights to continue. And we're happy that barely 5 to 7 hours this morning, because about 4 o'clock, flights have already resumed and things have come back to normalcy. And that has been achieved without taking risks, without risking lives and properties of people. And that in itself is something that we should celebrate. And especially for these men and women in airports who stayed through the night awake, working around the clock to ensure that you and I will today be discussing about the content of what was in the aircraft, not about lives that have been lost or property that has been destroyed.
Okay, thank you very, very much, Mr. Datti, for coming here on the news at 10.